Okay, I think we're live. Okay, I think we're live over here too. Okay, I'm just waiting for simulcast on Facebook. There we go. Okay, live on Facebook and live on YouTube. Once again, greetings everybody and welcome to the Martial Arts History Museum. My name is Michael Matsuda. I'm president and founder of the museum. So we are just setting up for a little announcement here. Nothing big, well, big in one way, and all our announcements are always big. How's that? So, greetings, everybody. Again, my name is Michael Matsuda, president of the Martial Arts History Museum. I do my best to do this broadcast every couple of days, every other day. Try not to do it every day because I know you'll get bored and tired of me, and we'll run out of things to talk about. I don't know how those radio talk show guys do it. They talk all day. I have no idea how they do it. So anyway, I want to say thank you, everybody. Day before yesterday, we had quite a bit of people watching us on YouTube, and we gained 10 full hours of watch time on YouTube. So that was pretty good. So thank you everybody for being part of that, making that possible. We are almost there. We are now 900, little over 900 viewing hours left to get 4,000 viewing hours. So we've hit 3,100 almost. So we're just about there. So every day we're picking up pretty good steam there. So thank you everybody for doing that. Troy Ransom is watching. Thank you, Troy. Just a beautiful man, Troy. Troy's been here many times. Thank you, Troy, for always coming, keeping me company, and saying hello. It's always nice to Troy to stop by. And thank you, everybody. We have tons of people stopping by here at the museum all the time. So thank you, everybody, for coming on. We had some great people, a writer here yesterday, and all that. That was kind of nice. So people stop by, say hello, and all that. And always remember, if you have a Coke Zero, bring one here. Hint. Anyway, Jose, thank you for watching, Jose. Good to see you, Jose. Gypty, is that it? Gipti? Gypty? I'm probably mispronouncing it. I mispronounce everything. Sorry about that. I want to say we just finished our Tiki Guy. We finished on one channel. What it means is the Tiki Guy is set up for 2 channels, and we finished one channel. So we have the voice and all that for the Tiki Guy. So that's kind of cool. So, but we need the music now. So we're trying to figure out how to do to separate the channels left and right. And then once we learn how to do that on an MP3, then we can put it out. But we still haven't figured that out. We'll get it. I tried to do it on Final Cut Pro, and it wouldn't let me. So we'll figure it out how to do it. Anyway, so what else is news and information? Well, coming up at 1 o'clock, we're going to talk about just about 12:45, about 20 minutes or so from now. We're going to talk about Doug Wong's premiere, and I'll talk about that a little bit more when we get closer. But I wanted to make sure these things are working. Sure enough, when I started Facebook right now live and YouTube, of course, one of them didn't work, of course. And I like to always try something way ahead of time. So I had to restart everything and redo everything, and now it finally works. So I'm not a last-minute person. I like to be done way ahead of time, and make sure it's working. I've heard horror stories galore of this happening. I heard this horror story. I'm not going to name names, but I saw this horror story of a movie premiere that they were supposed to get ready, and they're going to show this film. And they took it all the way across the ocean to New York area, and they were ready to show it. And sure enough, it didn't work. It didn't work. And all these people who invested money into the film were waiting, and it didn't work. So they had to show some clips of stuff that they had. So they set up for this big premiere, and it didn't work. So I do not like to do that at all. So anyway, if you are watching me right now live on Facebook, hi Sean Food's watching. If you're watching me live on Facebook, if you don't mind, it's okay if you don't. If you don't mind, can you also sign up in YouTube? Go to our YouTube channel right now, and you can watch me right here live because we're broadcast live on both Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So if you don't mind hopping over to YouTube, that'll be fantastic. That way we get the minutes guys watching. So every time someone watches on YouTube, we get those minutes. So if we go 10 minutes on YouTube and 10 people are watching, which is pretty good for 10 minutes. So it's not too bad. Or something like that. 10 hours. 10 hours. My math. Anyway, we get a lot of time on YouTube. So if you don't mind going to YouTube, that'll be fantastic. Joe Robello, how you doing, my friend? Good man, Joe Robello. Kempo Joe, beautiful man, just a wonderful man. A resource of ton of information. We talked about Cynthia Rothrock the other day, and you know, when you become an old fart like me, you everything starts meshing together. So we were talking about Cynthia Rothrock, and I got her mixed up with Graciela Casillas because we did a show on both of them on the same day, and my figures are all over the place. So yes, it was Cynthia Rothrock who did Tang Soo, and Graciela Casillas who did Harando. So very good. Thank you, Joe, for reminding me on that. I appreciate it on that. Joe says you're not on YouTube yet. Try it again right now. We are live right now. I know it went through a little thing, but now it should be okay. So, because I got Sensei Emmett. Sensei Emmett's watching. Thank you. Very good. Hey, I found it. I was on the other stream waiting for it to start. You need some Limio for beside Tiki guys now, Mike. So Limia Mano? I don't know what's that mean. So anyway. Lisa Pitch, thank you for watching, Lisa. Very kind of you. Lisa Pitch, great contributor to the museum. Thank you so much, always, Lisa. Very kind of you guys to always help me. So I wanted to start the broadcast just a little bit early again to make sure it's going to work. And again, lo and behold, we had some issues, but now we're there. We're good. We're good. So we're live here on both Facebook and YouTube. And again, if you could switch over to YouTube, that'd be just beautiful. Jose says, I am Sensei Don. You gave me that special cane years ago. Oh, that's right. I remember that. I remember you coming by. I truly remember that. That's very cool. Yeah, I truly remember. Leonard Creer, one of the great fighters of our generation. Thank you, Leonard, for watching. Really appreciate it. So very cool, you guys. So anyway, before we go into announcement about Doug Wong, I wanted to say there is a new documentary that just came out. It's called let's see, Not Just Miyagi. I think that's what it's called, and I'll have to double check on that. And it's made by Kevin Derrick. I know Kevin and Oscar Alvarez made the documentary The Real Miyagi, which was fantastic. Beautiful documentary. Thank you guys for including me in the Martial Arts History Museum. Great documentary. There's a new one. I don't know the name. Someone help me out. Something about Miyagi, the real Miyagi, or Not Just Miyagi. That's it. Not Just Miyagi. Okay, that's the name of it. So it's a new documentary coming out, and so that's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. Congratulations, Kevin. Kevin's just an amazing man to do all that for. Sensei Fumio Demura, and to help to get the career of Miyagi. What a great man he was. Miyagi did a lot of stuff. I never got to meet him. I'm sad to say that. I never got to meet him. But Fumio Demura did all the movements for him. And Fumio, a beautiful friend of mine, just a precious man. I've seen Fumio. Fumio's helped us out many times. And Fumio was very close to Pat Morita. So I want to say congratulations, Kevin, for getting that new documentary out. I'm excited to see it. Very excited. So I love documentaries. I can't get enough. I can't get enough of documentaries. Oh, Sensei says more than Miyagi, the Pat Morita short. Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying that. Make sure I'll give you the info. And if you carve them, I'm sure she would choke out a shark to get its teeth. Sensei Emmett's writing funny stuff out here. Yeah, Michelle Monroe, she will choke out a shark to get the teeth. Yes, she will. So anyway, I love documentaries. I every day, and I've told you guys this before. Every day I watch a documentary, whether it's in the car, and especially I do a lot of driving, and I put the phone on. Go to YouTube, and I'll find a documentary on mostly entrepreneurs. People, how they started this business or how they did this, but also other things as well. And I put that, and I put the phone down, and I just listen as I drive. So besides trying to learn Spanish and Japanese. I know my Spanish is getting a little bit better. Little bit better. And I mean a little bit better at this. I can say more than Hola Paco. But anyway, it's getting better. I do my Spanish lesson every single day on my phone. Every day I dedicate at least 5 minutes on my Spanish lesson. My Japanese lesson I have not done in a while. I loved speaking Japanese and going to Japanese class. I'm galore back into it. It's a lot of fun to do. So speaking Japanese, it was really great. I learned a lot, and I really got get back into that. Yesterday we had some Japanese guests, and I can carry on this much of a conversation, and that was it. And I wish I could have done a lot more. Anyway, I'll do my best. I try to squeeze everything in time, squeeze it in during the day. Just not enough to do it. I'm almost done with my personal documentary on Michael Matsuda. And I'm almost ready to release that. So that'd be kind of interesting. So Chris McKee, thank you for watching. Chris McKee's watching. Chris and I go way back. Chris and I were extras for years. It was one of the greatest jobs in the world, was being an extra. And Chris and I just conquered that place, and we had a lot of fun stuff. We were on a lot of shows together. I was on Criminal Minds a lot. And if you look at the reruns, you'll see me on there as a detective. I have no words to say, but I'm always out there. I want to say a big shout out to Joe Mantegna. Joe Mantegna is the star of Criminal Minds. And Joe is just a wonderful man, a friend of the family. And he tried his best to get me as a regular on that show. I want to say thank you, Joe, for doing that. I was there. Joe was really pushing, but, anyway. Oh, let's see. Joe says something. Okay, Joe is talking about, he wants to recommend a documentary. It's called Bare Knuckle Truth on Amazon. Excellent. Again, there are great documentaries out there, just wonderful. I just saw a documentary on the typeface Helvetica. It was not a good documentary. It wasn't very good. It wasn't very good, but it's a documentary. A little bit, I think it was like 45 minutes. I think it was 40 minutes too long of the documentary. So anyway, I enjoyed doing the biography here and the little documentaries we have at the museum. I think they're a lot of fun to do. It's just a blast to do. I've been watching the Disney documentaries on Frozen and all that. So that's kind of interesting. So anyway, it's getting close to time. It is now 12:28. And so the reason why I'm doing this right now, and again, to everybody who's on Facebook Live, if you don't mind signing on to the Martial Arts History Museum's YouTube channel right now and watch me from there, because we're being broadcast from both. The reason I say that, if you watch it from the YouTube channel, we get minutes. So everybody who watches, we get extra minutes to help us get our goal of 4,000 viewing hours. We are now at 3,100, about 3,100 viewing hours. We picked up 30 more last night. We picked up 50 more the day before. So we've been averaging close to now about 40 a day. So if we can pick that steam up and everybody watching, we can hit that mark of 4,000 viewing hours. And hopefully they'll give us the okay, and we'll get able to monetize this YouTube channel. So that way we'll get a little money in for the museum. So that'll be pretty good. So much needed, much needed. Let's see what else. Okay, so 12:30, close enough. So we're very happy to announce our premiere. McKeek's watching. Hola, Siva. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Chris McKee just went over to YouTube. Thank you, guys. So appreciate that much. So anyway, we're going to talk about Douglas Wong. Douglas Wong, great pioneer of the martial arts. I have been honored to know. I don't like people when they come in and name drop, but if they know the person, I like to hear the story. Okay, so which is good. I never name drop, but if I think it's interesting to tell the story of persons I actually know, and that I don't mind. Myself, I don't mind. Maybe somebody else minds. But I'm happy to talk about people that I know very well. And I hope you don't think it's a name drop. I'm not dropping any names. These are all martial. We're all martial arts together, guys. We're all martial artists together. Just some went in different fields than other, but we're all martial artists together. But anyway, just a wonderful man, Douglas Wong, Sifu Douglas Wong. When I started doing Kung Fu, I started in the 67, around there, with one of Ark Wai Wong's students. Now, I think it's Ark Wai Wong's students. His name was Juan. And I think it was his students because I didn't know back then. I mean, a little kid, you know. But I saw a picture later and I said, hey, that looks like Juan, who's one of Ark Wai Wong's students. But anyway, Douglas Wong is a student of the great Ark Wai Wong. Ark Wai Wong is the father of Kung Fu in America. This is the man, you know, he's the guy that opened the doors to teaching non-Chinese. Before Bruce Lee, before everybody else, it was Ark Wai Wong. Okay, he is the guy, the teacher of Ed Parker, the teacher of everybody. Everybody went to Daniel Santo. Everybody went to Ark Wai Wong. He was such an icon of the martial arts. So Doug Wong was a student of Ark Wai Wong, and during the five family system, the 5 animals. And what a brilliant guy Ark Wai Wong was. You know, I didn't knew him this much. I knew him. I'd see him at the studio. I'd go. You know, I would go. I was studying Kung Fu at the time, Hung Gar Kung Fu at the Mid Valley YMCA. Okay. Then I would get on the bus as soon as class was over. I'd get on the bus. And then I take the bus over on Van Nuys Boulevard all the way to Doug Wong's school. We're talking 1970, I don't know, 73. Doug Wong's school, I don't remember. And I get off there, and then I go to his school, and I sit there in the back watching class. In front of me was Ark Wai Wong. So I was sitting there watching class every single Saturday I was there. I never joined the class because I was doing Kung Fu. I was doing Hung Gar with Buxom Kong. Actually, Lao Fujioka, and I was doing that. So I would go over there and watch Doug Wong's class perform. So Doug Wong had these magnificent people there. James Liu was there, if you know James. Just a wonderful guy. I got to see James when James Liu was not James Liu, when he was just a regular guy like the rest of us, instead of a big star. And then Albert Leong was there. So Albert Leong was there. And Robin Kane was there, and Jim Brown. Jim Brown, I went to high school with Jim Brown. Jim Brown's much younger than me. When I went to high school, I formed the Hop Sing Tong Martial Arts Society. And so I was the president of that society, and Jim Brown was one of the people in it. And so he was like in 9th grade or 10th grade, and I was in 12th grade already. Anyway, so I got to see them, and then Kerry Ogawa Wong came into the picture a little later. But I was able to see the workouts of these greats in martial arts, and it was very exciting to see. So, you know, to see James Liu starting to create the creative kata, you know, that's what James became known for, the creative kata right there. It's pretty cool, you know what I mean? So to see these guys work out and you know, the camaraderie they had, and then how the Kung Fu team was formed. So Doug Wong opened a school there on Van Nuys Boulevard. He had a couple places he moved around to, but the most prominent one was on Van Nuys Boulevard in Van Nuys, more closer to Panorama City. Might be Panorama City, I think, but on Van Nuys Boulevard. If you guys remember, if you're in the West Coast, you remember Van Nuys Boulevard, okay? Van Nuys Boulevard was the cruise place there was for us. It was every Wednesday night from like 7 o'clock or something like that to like 10 o'clock or something like that. All the cars would cruise down Van Nuys, and they go all the way from about Roscoe all the way till like Burbank Boulevard or Chandler to Chandler. And there was a turnaround at Chandler. So you could make a U-turn at Chandler and turn around and then and go back down Van Nuys Boulevard. So we go back and forth all day long. So it was the girls and the guys. It was high school, a little over high school and college age. And the girls were flirting with the guys flirting with the girls, the guys showing off their hot rod cars. And it was a cool time in history. So Van Nuys Boulevard was just a great time. We looked forward to it all the time. And I went on every car. I went from the surfers, they call them the surfers, the guys that had the cars raised in the back with big tires, and you play Beach Boys a lot on the surfers, to the lowriders where the cars were the other ways and go the other way. So I went in every car. It didn't matter. So, and then I went on the Hawaiian car. Sorry to get off, guys, but Jay Takaki, you'll see him on Facebook, was the Hawaiian, and he had a Trans Am, and he had this fancy stuff painted on there, and he had this Hawaiian-looking thing it called the Hawaiian, and he was the coolest guy in school. And I said, "Boy, look at that, Jay Takaki, the coolest guy ever." And so one day I got to ride in the Trans Am, coolest thing in the world. So I became close friends, good friends with Jay Takaki, the coolest guy in my high school. How cool was that? Anyway, to get back on track. Sorry, I had to mention it. I had to mention it. It was a great past. Van Nuys Boulevard was a great time in history. After about 3 or 4 years, they closed it down because it was just getting too wild. The businesses were complaining and all that because nobody could park and go to the businesses after 7 o'clock on Wednesday. But anyway, it was a great time in history. Let's see. Sensei Emmett says, any cool stories about Master Ed Parker? Mr. Parker, Troy Ransom and Van Nuys. It was Arby's and McDonald's was a hangout too when it was cruise night many moons ago. Troy Ransom knows about Van Nuys Boulevard. Now, Troy's a little younger than I am, so I don't know if they closed it off by the time Troy got there, but it was probably still, I'm not sure. But there were a couple of restaurants, Nago's and In-N-Out, that we hung out on Roscoe Boulevard. It was kind of fun. In our area, high school people kind of stayed together, and the area kind of stayed together, so we all knew each other. So it was a lot of fun, and we all used to hang out. Cruise night was a lot of fun. Going to the Van Nuys Drive-In, that was a lot of fun. We pack everybody in the car and we go to the drive-in. That was a lot of fun. So anyway, okay. Sensei Emmett says, any cool stories about Master Ed Parker? As I mentioned before, what a wonderful man Mr. Parker was. Mr. Parker, again, helped me out quite a bit. When I used to own Martial Art Magazine, Mr. Parker was really there for me, and I really appreciate that. He really helped me with the magazine. He connected me with people, and he fought some battles for me, and that was really nice of him. Who am I? And he was there, and he really helped me out, and I got to know now I know his daughter very well, Leilani and all of them, very well. And, the whole group, and they've been very kind to me. Ed Parker Jr. has done many of our artwork for us for free. Thank you so much. So Mr. Parker was just a wonderful man. But let me tell you a quick story about Mr. Parker before I finish talking about Doug Wong. Sensei Emmett had a request on that, so I'll just put it out there. Mr. Parker was great friends with Elvis Presley. Wonderful friends. They were close. They met at the Hollywood, what's a hotel? Hollywood something hotel. Help me, Joe. Hollywood, the Hollywood Hotel, I think it's called. We got so many hotels out here. I don't know what to watch. Everybody's called Hollywood something. So anyway, Mr. Parker, Elvis was there. He was already learning martial arts before that when he went to Germany. But he went there, and there was a demonstration, a seminar put on by Mr. Parker. And Elvis went in there, walked by and saw the seminar, and he just loved it. Just loved it. And he started studying with Mr. Parker. And he studied with him a long time, and then he went on the road studying with one of his students. But Joe Barabello says, so the Wilshire Hotel, somewhere like that. Ed Parker's daughter emailed me the name of it. I think it was, we'll have to look it up. It's in Hollywood, though. How's that? The hotel is in Hollywood. Anyway, so they started studying, and Elvis would call Ed Parker like 2 in the morning. He'd call him all the time because, they became very close friends. So he'd call him all the time. And Mrs. Parker would say, is that Elvis again? He goes, yeah. So he's always talking to Elvis all the time. So one great thing that was so very cool, and his daughter revealed this to me, this story, and so I'm going to reveal it to you real quick. One day, Elvis went to Ed Parker's church, and at the church, he went early, and there they had the Sunday school class getting ready. Just before Sunday school class getting ready, So Ed Parker's daughters were there already at the church getting ready. So Elvis went there as well. So Elvis is there meeting with the daughters, saying hello to them, and they were the only ones there. So he was saying hello and all that, and then he left. Okay. So now the kids from Sunday school class came there. Okay, so they came, they went to the church, and now the kids are telling, the daughters are telling the other kids, hey, Elvis Presley was just here. And you know what the kids are going to say. No, he wasn't. So knowing this, what happened, knowing this, and what a good guy Elvis Presley is, okay, he went out, he turned the car around because he knew this was going to happen, okay? He turned the car around and he went back to the Sunday school and said hello to all the kids. Yeah, that way the daughters of Ed Parker wouldn't be embarrassed, and say, look, it is true. I was here. And there he appeared, Elvis Presley, to say hello to all the kids. And that was very nice of Elvis Presley to do that. Let's see. Joe said Ed Parker was doing a demonstration for the American Medical Association to show how to break boards and bricks without harming his hands. Thank you, Joe. That's correct. That is correct. Cool, man. Joe Rebello, you are the man. Bonaventure Hotel. Thank you. Bonaventure. I'm not sure it's a Bonaventure. The Bonaventure wasn't built until 1976, I believe, 1976. I know that because that's where my prom was, at the Bonaventure. The Bonaventure, I think it was built in 1975 or 1976, because when it first opened, we had the Poly High School prom at the Bonaventure. So we'll double check that, Joe, on which hotel. But I don't think it was Bonaventure because it wasn't built then. Bonaventure is a great hotel. It's a circular hotel. It's very cool. You'll love it a lot. And we had our prom there. But dummy me, I didn't go to the prom. I kick myself every day for not going to the prom. Every day for not going to the prom. I do. But that's where they had the prom, was the Bonaventure. I went back later on to enjoy the Bonaventure. It was because we had all these great elevators and very cool place. I really enjoyed it. But dummy me and everyone went to the prom. So I know. I kicked myself. Where was I? I don't know. Anyway, so that's very cool for Elvis to do that. We have 2 more minutes for more people signing on. So, well, it's close enough. So anyway, let's talk more about Douglas Wong. So what I wanted to do is show this premiere about Douglas Wong, the biography we did on Doug Wong. Now, Doug Wong, at the time, as we talked about, had the studio in Van Nuys. Okay, great place there. Philip Jennings was there. All those guys were there. Robin Kane, everybody was practicing and performing for the tournaments. When Doug Wong and his group started tournaments, James Liu and all those guys, and again, they were so nice to me. I cannot say enough about Albert Leong and James Liu, especially James Liu. Just super nice to me. Here I was a young guy. I was in my teens, there at the studio, and they were just so blatant nice to me. I used to visit. James and I became really close friends for many, many years thereafter. And James really helped me out at the museum galore. James used to own a pinball place I used to go to all the time, Montebello, or Monterey Park. And then, but James was just super nice. I can say just what a talented man he was. Always wonder what happened to Robin Kane and Jim Brown. Joe Rebello says, I talked to Robin Kane on Facebook a while back and sent him the videos and stuff like that. And then Jim Brown, I haven't seen Jim Brown. Let's see. When I graduated, that was the last time I saw Jim Brown. Again, he was in my club that I had, and he was on the cover of Inside Kung Fu, and he was in my martial arts club. But after the club, after it kind of disappeared, we didn't see Jim Brown anymore. I haven't seen Jim Brown, gosh, since high school. That's the last time I saw Jim. Wow, it's a long time. Anyway, so Douglas Wong created this great team. And at the time in the tournaments, Eric Lee was the man. Okay, he was the man. First out to Costco's brought Kung Fu into tournaments, really brought it out there. And then Eric Lee took over everything. You know, he was just gobbling up tournaments galore. And then came the group, and it was an honor to see Eric in person. I have hung out with this man forever. It's like he lives here. Eric's a great guy, and to see him back then was a treat. To see him actually perform in his heyday was exciting. It was really exciting to see these guys. So it was very cool. And then Doug Wong brought in his whole team, and they started winning like crazy, you know, and then they were just gobbling up everything. So that was pretty exciting to see Eric Lee, and then James Liu, and then Albert Young, especially Albert. Oh my God. You know, that Kwando that he twirls, just as heavy as can be. He didn't get the little light one. No, he's got the heavy thing. And I used to bump into Albert Leong in Chinatown all the time for the Kung Fu movies. And I always bump into him. It was kind of cool to see Albert Leong. He wasn't a movie star back then. But to see that guy, he was a great guy, just a talented performer. Anyway, so Doug became the guy. You know, Doug also performed as well in the tournaments, but more of a demonstration area. He wanted his students to really get in the limelight and promote the school. So that's what they did. They started promoting the school through the tournament. So they started winning like crazy. Matter of fact, they won so much, and this will be in the video. They asked Douglas, hey, do you mind you guys not entering the forms division? Because people see you enter and they don't enter because they know you're going to win. So they said, we'll pay you to demonstrate. He said, okay, that's fine. We don't mind, because the whole idea was to promote the school. So that's what they did. They started demonstrating at these tournaments. And then they started, Lady Reed, thank you for watching. So anyway, they started performing then on different places at the Elysian Park and different stages. They did a lot of Kung Fu performances. Now, I just happened to be there at the Elysian Park, one of them, Elysian Park demonstration. So I think I bumped into him, like, not intentionally, you know, because this is not a big town, really. It really is, but it really isn't. And you just go to see an Asian themed event, and I go to see it, and there was Doug Wong performing, you know, his whole group performing. So to see him doing their comedy routine, and then Carrie came on a little bit later, and Carrie and Doug Wong, and, you know, got married and all that. But Carrie was just a talented performer, and just a great historian. Douglas and Carrie done so much for me. I cannot express it, how much they've done for me. Oh, Douglas is watching. There you are. Douglas says, hello to everyone out there. It's been a couple of years since I talked to Jimmy Brown. I got a case of bad arthritis that affected his joint and lost a lot of his flexibility. Robin is up in Fresno, retired. Wow, thank you. Look at the great Sifu Douglas Wong. We're talking about you right now. We got on a little early, so we're talking about you right now. Daniela says hello from Brazil. So anyway, I'm bragging about you, Douglas. Sifu Douglas Wong, everybody. Say hi to Sifu Douglas Wong, who's watching right now on Facebook. So I'm bragging about you galore. So anyway, I was very honored to see the performance that Doug put together, Sifu Doug put together for Carrie and James. They used to do all these great comedy sketches, which is pretty cool, you know, very exciting. And to see them perform, it was amazing, you know. And I put this out in the documentary. And, you know, he had his regular people who did stylish, you know, classical forms. And then he had his others who did James and Albert Leong and them guys do a very unique and stylish form. And they just win everything. And to see them is very impressive. James would be there for me for my parades for the museum, for being Q&A, for being movie premieres and all that. And Albert would be there for all that stuff for me. So, and then Carrie was there just galore for the museum. Now, back when we were in 1983, by then I was already writing for Inside Kung Fu and Black Belt magazine. Now, in case you guys didn't know, Curtis Wong is a brother of Douglas Wong. and Curtis Wong started Inside Kung Fu magazine, and you'll see that in the biography. And so they started the magazine together, and everybody helped out galore to get that magazine out there. And it became a fantastic magazine. So Doug was a major part of that magazine. And then, in 1983, no, in 1984, gosh, the dates are blurry. I started a martial art magazine, and that lasted till 1988. 1988, and around 1988, someone made me an offer to buy the magazine, so I sold it. I sold the magazine in 1988, and right after that, that same year, I contacted Douglas Wong and Sifu Douglas, and we've always been in contact, guys. It's not like we haven't been in contact. And I said to him, I went over there, met with especially Sifu Douglas, and I said, I really wanted to start a museum. That's what I wanted to do. Before I told anybody about this, I wanted to talk to Douglas Wong first. And that's what I did. I contacted Sifu Douglas. I even have a video of us talking about it. And he was the first person I talked to about having a museum. And he thought it'd be a great idea. And so Doug is the man who said, let's do it. Go forward. Go forward. And I said, okay. So that's what I did. After that, I did some interviews with Byung Yu talking about the museum, with Bill Yosaki talking about the museum, and with many other people talking about the Martial Arts History Museum and getting it started. And that was in 1988. And then after that, I went back to school for the next 10 years, eight years, to learn how to do a museum. But in between that time, I put the museum on the road. Now, thanks to now we're talking 10 years later. Now I'm doing all this schooling. 10 years later, I hooked up with Fireboy Jacques. Okay, great guy, and he's the guy that helped me get the Martial Arts History Museum out there in the public. He got it on the internet because we were out there, but we were out there in paper form. That was about it. It was Doug and Carrie that loaned me all their stuff, right, Sifu Doug? I said, Sifu, can I borrow this lion head? He goes, okay. He goes, oh, can I borrow this weapon here? And he said, okay. And I said, Sifu, can I borrow this other weapon here? So my whole traveling exhibit was Sifu Douglas Wong stuff. Remember that, Sifu? So I was on the road, traveling the museum with Douglas Wong stuff, Sifu Douglas Wong stuff everywhere. And that was my exhibit. And then right after that time, Fireboy Jacques came along, and he's the guy that knew the internet. The internet was brand new. He knew the internet, okay? He knew the internet, and he's the guy that put the Martial Arts History Museum on the map in regard to mass exposure on the internet. So thank you to Fireboy Jacques. He literally paid for that to be done. He paid for the name. He paid for the server. Back then, all that stuff. He's the guy that really got it out there on the internet. So that was years later, but it was Sifu Douglas Wong that got this thing rolling with allowing me to use all their great stuff. Once in a while, I still call them. I finally returned their lion, right? So anyway, fun times, guys. Okay, so anyway, so Douglas Wong became the teacher of Xena, the warrior princess. Fantastic show. I loved that show. She did Kung Fu, and Sifu Douglas Wong was the one that taught her. And Hercules was also a student of Sifu Douglas Wong. So Sifu Douglas Wong is a man of healing. He knows the healing arts as well, the Qigong arts as well, many other different styles he's also studied as well. But we all know him of doing White Lotus Kung Fu. He is just a spectacular man. And talk about historian. There is no greater influence in the Kung Fu world than right now than Sifu Douglas Wong. This man is the encyclopedia for Kung Fu. We had the other book written by John Corcoran, beautiful man, and all about the history of martial arts and history of everything. But the only thing they really didn't have was a good in-depth on Kung Fu. You could tell, John studied karate. So most of the book was focused on karate. And the Kung Fu part, it was okay, but it wasn't real in-depth. You know what I mean? Didn't have the meat that we all know what Kung Fu is about. Douglas Wong is the man that knows all the meat, everything that Kung Fu is about. And he wrote many books about it, and it would have been nice to have him as a consultant. John Corcoran reached out to Douglas Wong as a consultant on the history of Kung Fu in America, especially, and that would have been really beneficial to the book. So anyway, it was a great book, The Martial Arts Encyclopedia. John Corcoran, what a fantastic writer. He writes circles around me. I'm an okay writer. I'm okay, but John writes circles around me. So, I'm nothing compared to him. But anyway, Sifu Douglas Wong appeared in many, many magazines, cover of many, many magazines. Matter of fact, in the very beginning of Inside Kung Fu, it was called, most people said it was called Inside Douglas Wong, because there were so many features and pictures and covers of Sifu Douglas Wong in the magazine that they thought it was a Douglas Wong magazine. But, Sifu Douglas Wong studied with Akbar Wong for a long period of time, and he just developed a series of great students, second to none, just amazing students. What an amazing teacher he has been, and Sifu carried the teachers. They have continued to carry on the tradition of Kung Fu into this generation, so that everybody learns about it. And I'm very honored to debut his biography today. We had actually put it out there quite a while back, but we didn't make a formal announcement. I didn't know how. I just learned how to do it. That's why I'm doing it. So now I'm making a formal announcement of Sifu Douglas Wong's biography. We're going to release it in just a few moments. I'm going to put the link right on here after we finish our conversation here. But it's going to be a fun and exciting documentary for you guys to enjoy. We go and Sifu goes in depth on everything you can name, and it's a very touching documentary. And I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to be there in this generation. I know I'm as old as dust to be there, but to be part of that generation, to see Sifu Douglas and all these guys, James and everybody, grow up in the martial arts and become, figures in the martial arts. And it's so blessed to actually be there, which is kind of cool. It's like being there and saying, "Hey, I saw Babe Ruth at the home run." I'm not that old, but it's being there. You know what I mean? Being at the stadium. You know what I mean? You understand what I mean? To see these guys back then, and to be real guys, real people, real guys and gals that are very nice to you, and it's really appreciated. So, Sifu, would you like to post anything or say anything, Sifu Douglas Wong, before we connect everybody to the video? We're going to put the video. I'm going to put the link on every one of these pages. So on all the Facebook pages, and as well as this here on Facebook and everywhere I can, I'm going to put the link up to it. It's about 40 minutes, something like that, but well worth watching. So, Sifu, would you like to say anything before we close up here? And oh look, Lady Lelaine says to say hello to you. Grandmaster Douglas Wong, she says hello. Lady Lelaine Reed says, must have been great time. It was a great time, especially at the internationals. Hooking up with everybody, with Douglas Wong and James and everybody at the internationals, a lot of fun. That was a great time. Great time hanging with Brendan Lai. Oh, what a great guy he was. Great guy, Brendan. Remember Brendan, Sifu Douglas Wong? Remember Brendan Lai? He wore those funky shorts all the time. I don't know why he wore those. It wasn't checkered shorts he used to wear. Anyway, Sifu Douglas says, I hope everyone else enjoys the bio and we can talk afterwards. Brian Oak says, Grandmaster Douglas Wong and Carrie Wong are true martial arts royalty. Yes, they are. I can honestly say the royal couple of Kung Fu is Doug and Carrie Wong. Well, I can say the royal couple of martial arts is Douglas and Carrie Wong. You know, I cannot say enough. Anyway, Sean Foon says, enjoy, Grandmaster. Very good. Okay, so I think that's it. We are at 1 o'clock. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for your wonderful comments. I truly appreciate it. So give me just a moment to sign off here. I'm going to grab the link and then put it on every Facebook page so everybody can enjoy it. Oh, Dr. Carl Totten is watching. Hey, Dr. Carl Totten says Douglas Wong is an incredible teacher and an inspiration to us all. Yes, he is. He is, you know, he is just a true martial artist, a true martial artist. And without him, you know, he's the guy that carried Kung Fu. Right now, he carries the torch of Kung Fu into a new generation, picking it up from all those before him and bringing it to a new generation. Just an amazing man, Sifu Douglas Wong. And I think that's about it. Anybody have any more questions before we switch off here and put the video live? Any questions, guys? Let's see. Hernan Rivera says OG. And then Ryan Steele says, I had the pleasure of meeting you both for the first time in 2007 at the San Diego Internationals. You and he are credible. I think he's talking about, not sure who you're talking about. Oh, to Carl. Oh, to Carl Totten, Douglas Wong. Sorry. People are talking to each other on Facebook. So I'm responding to them like they're talking to me. Anyway, that's it, guys. Thank you all for watching. I truly appreciate it. Please watch the video as many times as you can. That'll help us out a lot. But give me just a few minutes as I shut off on here and start putting the whole thing. Oh, wait, another question. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I just want to make sure everybody has their questions answered as I go through here real quick. That's it. Mine. It's cool guy, quite talented. Okay, I think we're great. Okay, very good. Ryan, no worry about it. Okay, guys, so I'm signing off. Thank you for watching. Without further ado, again, give me a few seconds. I give you the biography of the great, the icon, the historian, the Kung Fu man himself, the most influential man in Kung Fu today. The cover, the many covers of Inside Kung Fu, the author, the pioneer, the founder, the master of disaster, the king of sting, the the legacy of legacies. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the biography of the great Sifu Douglas Wong. Enjoy, everybody.